Today is Wednesday, May 6th. Welcome to this edition of Nevada County Now. At the time of filming, there are no new cases of COVID-19 to report. Our total remains at 41 laboratory confirmed cases, 29 in eastern Nevada County, 12 in western Nevada County. And there are no confirmed active cases. Nevada County Public Health lists 40 recovered and just the one death. The total number of tests performed in the county still sits at 1,469, but expect the testing numbers to continue to rise with the 2 new testing sites opening. Visit mynevadacounty.com/coronavirus for the most up-to-date information. This morning, the Board of Supervisors were given a tour of the new testing facility at the Grass Valley Veterans Hall. We, as well as other media partners, were invited to attend. Let's take a look. All right, we are out here in front of the Veterans Hall Wednesday morning, just a little after 7 o'clock. And we're going to get a tour, along with the Board of Supervisors, of the new testing facility that's been set up.
I think what we'd like to do with you folks this morning is we want to give you that patient experience of what they're experiencing. If you drove in, you already saw the Easy Up that was out there on the tables and the stop sign. So that's our greeter location. That's where that's our first contact screening point for the folks that are arriving. We want to make sure that they have appointments because we don't want people mixing with other folks who have appointments and don't, because we don't want to create any bottlenecks. The system is designed as an appointment system, so we don't want to inject folks who don't, otherwise we could slow the process down. And we want people to come here, feel comfortable, come in and get out quickly. So we're screening them, we're asking if they have an appointment. If they don't, we're providing them that information and asking them to return when they do. If folks claim to be symptomatic or if they have any access issues, like if they need a wheelchair or whatnot, the wonderful folks with OptumServe were able to accommodate us, and they're actually walking out and they're testing these folks in their vehicles, which is very nice because it's very accommodating for them. Otherwise, we ask everybody to park back here like you did and walk up the side of the building, and then we'll go up the ramp and we'll let you guys experience what the patients experience when they arrive. They confirm that you have an appointment and that you're here. Once you've done that, you circle around that first privacy barrier and you go to the next registration table, and this is where they print off a label for your sample to make sure that you have the correct label for your sample. So that's literally 60 seconds. You loop around, you come behind the privacy barriers, and then we have our final station back there, which is the testing station. And we did what we could to try to provide the distancing as well as the privacy so that people felt comfortable coming in. We didn't want people coming in feeling like they were on display for all to see. You can see we roped off all the bleachers so we didn't have folks wandering up into the bleachers and having views behind the privacy walls. I did not hear any complaints yesterday. I saw a lot of positive feedback from folks that came in and then posted on social media. They felt like the process was private and it was quick at the same time. So that was our goal, and so far it feels like we're meeting that. And you'll notice that we specifically marked off chairs. We've provided very minimal seating here. We have one metal chair. It's easy to clean, very easy to sanitize. The floors are hard. Our facility staff comes in every night after all the testing is done and the facility is closed. They come in and they sanitize. We had a training on Monday so that all our facilities folks will know to wear the proper PPEs to protect themselves, as well as how to properly sanitize the building afterwards, which is why we had you folks come in this morning instead of last night. We wanted to make sure that we had cleaned the building properly before you all came in.
Is there any thought of moving towards antibody testing or anything like that, or is that long down the road somewhere?
So that depends on the development of the antibody testing and their efficacy. There have been concerns with certain of the antibody tests in terms of their reliability, and so there's definitely been conversation about having that capacity on site once that's available and once that's reliable and once we have knowledge in terms of how that would be utilized. Right now it's essentially a surveillance tool. There's not full knowledge in terms of whether that actually protects people and how that information would be utilized if that testing is conducted. Turnaround time, I've been told, is around 72 hours. We're hopeful that that holds up. As occurred in the beginning of this situation, there were a lot of bottlenecks at the labs that process those tests. So with 86 testing sites standing up around the state, we're hopeful that those 72 hours holds up, and we'll be monitoring that closely for sure.
Can you tell us about what the physical experience was like when you went through the test?
It was probably best described as a little uncomfortable. The object they stuck up my nose did hit a dead end, and basically the only thing that happens, I had to sneeze afterward. But very quick. So they didn't probe up there. They just put it up there, brought it out, and
A matter of seconds?
nanoseconds. Yeah, I did tear up a little bit in the left eye because they went in that nostril. But other than that, it wasn't a bad experience.
Any residual pain or anything at this point?
No.
Or pretty much already
No,
recovered? Feeling great?
except for the sneeze and the tear in the left eye, no problem. In fact, the Grass Valley is a testing site. They tested 60 people yesterday. They hope to do more today. I think the more that people realize it's available, go online, complete the registration form, and that's probably the most difficult part. It's just complete the registration form so you have everything, and don't forget your ID. But as far as the city and the community as a whole, I think having the testing site here will probably free us up a lot quicker than most other counties in order to try and get our economy open. And so the more tests we do, the more negative results that we have, the quicker we're going to get back and get through the governor's phases.
Well, I just wanted to, I did. I wanted to thank staff for being able to get this facility here. We're lucky to have it. It's really important that people understand that our ability to do a lot of tests over the course of time is essential to us being able to actually open up and stay open and be sustained. So we need to protect our community, and the only way to do that is to test and trace. And the only way we could do that is to have a testing facility here. So I'm excited that we have this here. I'm really anxious to see how many people we can get through here and what the results are. And all of that will help us maintain our public safety, and more importantly, help us decide also how much and when we can reopen the economy.
The facility was opened yesterday, and they were able to perform about 60 tests with the ability to process more if needed. The county is hopeful that they can use this increased testing to be sure they are meeting Governor Newsom's guidelines for reopening. Testing is by appointment only, though they will accommodate those without internet access or a phone. They encourage anyone with symptoms to be tested, and even those showing no symptoms can potentially be tested, but priority will be given to those with symptoms. Visit lhi.care/COVID testing or call 1-888-634-1123 to schedule an appointment. The Nevada City Police Department has put out a message warning the public of rental scams. They have recently received several reports of rental scams in the area. Scammers are falsely claiming to rent properties via email, no credit check required. They also claim to be from out of state or have recently moved from the area, and promise keys after a deposit is received electronically or through direct deposit. The Nevada City Police Department encourages potential renters to avoid trusting these types of advertisements. It is possible to meet landlords and view properties in person while still maintaining a safe social distance. COVID-19 does not require rentals sight unseen. COVID-19 testing is ramping up across the state. I talked with the Union reporter John Arona to discuss the changes that this increase in testing may bring to our community. Okay, so I'm joined today by John Arona from the Union, and he's currently writing a story about testing here in the county. How are you doing today, John?
Doing pretty good. Thanks for having me today.
Absolutely. So what have you been able to find out about how testing is working in the county at the moment?
Well, right now it's basically increasing by a lot because recently they just announced that this week they're going to be opening up in Grass Valley a testing site that's going to allow up to 130 tests per day. And until now, we've tested between 20 and 30 people a day. That's not, exactly constant throughout this whole pandemic, but averaging about 20 to 30. So it's a huge jump. I mean, the testing site won't, right away jump up to 130 tests per day. It's probably going to start closer to the 80 to 90 range, but it's going to be, a huge jump for the county.
Yeah, absolutely. That's still a huge increase. So gotta be good in terms of getting our numbers up and having a good idea of what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. And so statewide, the governor's kind of set a range for where he wants testing to be between 60 to 80,000 per day. And so if you
Wow.
put that down, proportionally per 100,000 population, that's about 130 to 100, 120 to 150 tests per day. So that would be for us about 120 to 150 is where we should be at to get to the fully recovered stage 4. But however, the testing needed doesn't actually work proportionally. So we could probably actually need quite a bit less than that. So with these with the testing sites and the testing sets we have now, in addition to the new one, we could be already at that threshold.
Okay, good. And so to clarify, these are the testing for active virus, right? These are not the tests for antibodies. Is that true?
That's right. Just for active.
Okay. Yeah. And so do these have a different turnaround rate? Are these faster? Are we going to get the results back faster? Do you know, or is it
Well,
basically the same turnaround as before?
yeah, that's a bit unclear, especially because the testing
Okay.
just started.
Right.
According to the provider of the site, everything's gonna be done on site and pretty quickly, but we just don't know how quickly that is. Even from the few sites that have opened already, it's still not clear how quickly that'll be done.
Okay. And so what is this information supposed to be providing us with? It's obviously going to give us some more information, but what is the plan to use this information?
Yeah, well, so in a lot, it's used sort of in different ways. One, I guess overall, the more testing we have, the more information we have about the pandemic generally and the disease, how to fight it, how quickly it spreads, things like that. In the more immediate term, what it's going to do is sort of provide an indicator for how soon we can start reopening businesses. So the governor, he's mentioned that just starting Friday and into next week, we can enter stage 2. And that was largely because of 6 key indicators that he used that were very successful, one of which is testing. And so testing is going to continue to be a key indicator as we move from stage 2 into stage 3. And in fact, he also announced that some counties would be able to move from stage 2 to stage 3 even quicker, which I know that especially rural counties are very interested in. And that's also going to be dependent on, among other criteria, testing. So it's really huge for basically gauging how quickly and how safely we're going to be moving forward.
Okay, great. So is there anything else you think the public should know about the testing that's going on right now?
Yeah, I think, I guess the big thing is now that there's more capacity, testing criteria is going to expand. So before, they were really telling people with mild symptoms to stay at home, and only people that had pretty severe symptoms and had to talk to a doctor could get tested. But now that's slowly kind of, the criteria is beginning to ease. And so people who before maybe did not qualify, they should really look into getting tested.
Okay. So basically now everybody that thinks they may have symptoms at all should go out and get a test, go ahead and call or go online, make an appointment and go down and get tested if possible.
Yeah, exactly. The testing site there is going to prioritize people. So if you just sign up, they'll make an appointment for you and get back to you.
All right. Perfect. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us today, John.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, John. Today is National Nurses Day, which marks the beginning of Nurses Week, ending on May 12th to coincide with Florence Nightingale's birthday. Nightingale's lasting contribution has been her role in founding the modern nursing profession. She set an example of compassion, commitment to patient care, and diligent and thoughtful hospital administration. The first official nurses training program, her Nightingale School for Nurses, opened in 1860 and is now called the Florence Nightingale Faculty of Nursing and Midwifery at King's College London. Nurses are quite often on the front lines of medical care, having the most patient interaction and therefore being the most at risk in many situations. Now more than ever, it's important to show our appreciation for their dedicated service to our communities. The Union reporter Tom Durkin spoke with several nurses about their experiences in the field. That article is available on theunion.com. I will also be speaking with a nurse or two in the coming week, so be sure to tune in to hear their stories. A local business owner, Skylar Ellers, is set to appear on Shark Tank this Friday. Ellers runs an exotic men's clothing company, Lord Van Schmidt, which makes bold and beautiful attire out of crocheted Afghan blankets and throws he finds in thrift stores. Shark Tank airs locally at 8 p.m. Friday on KXTV Channel 10 in Sacramento. It will also be broadcast online. We'll leave you with a look at some of Ellers' eccentric designs. And be sure to visit theunion.com for more details on Ellers' experience. Remember, stay safe, take care of each other. We'll see you tomorrow.